was the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson intervening for the first time, really, in this election campaign. Yes, he has his newspaper column, but isn't it interesting? I think he's been on holiday. It was his 60th birthday last week, the week before. He's been on holiday and has come back a couple of days before polling day. I don't know. I think he said at the beginning he'd been asked to do this by Rishi Sunak. And he said, whatever our differences, we all have to come together. Now, many of you sending in messages, you can imagine what most of them say. Somebody says, Iain, are you getting goosebumps? Are you a fanboy of Boris? Well, if you've listened to me over the past 10 years, you ought to know the answer to that question, because I've never been a Boris Johnson fan. I'm not a fan now. I think he's blown any chance of him coming back because he hasn't done anything to campaign for the Conservative Party in this campaign. And Conservative Party members don't forgive that sort of thing very lightly. Right, let's go to Malcolm in Wigan. Malcolm, were you surprised to hear Boris Johnson on your radio?
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it, that there seemed to be a lot of rhetoric and waffle in what he was saying. I mean, to try and claim that those who disagree with supplying arms to Ukraine are not, on the right side of history, in my view, is wrong, because if that was the case, then why was Joe Biden so heavily beaten in the presidential debate by Donald Trump, who is not sympathetic to the court gesture of Ukraine, Zelensky?
Joe Biden lost that debate because he was mentally incapable of carrying out a debate. It has nothing to do with Ukraine.
Yes, but today the Biden administration has claimed that it's going to give $2 billion to Ukraine, according to the BBC. It may be nonsense, and I hope it is. But the point is, if there was huge popular support across America for supplying arms to Ukraine, then why was Biden so heavily beaten? That's the question that all.
Well, I've just told you why he was heavily beaten, because he was incapable of debating.
Well, that's your views, but the point is, he's still the president.
I think it's the universal view.
He's still the president, and he's still following a policy that is going to result in him being hammered in the presidential election by the guy who's opposed to supply of arms to Ukraine. That's the end of my comments. I'm off.
Well, thank goodness for that. David's in Camberwell. Hello, David.
Oh, hi. I literally just walked in and heard the clip of Boris Johnson, and I can't stand Boris Johnson. He actually lives near me, and I wish he'd move away really quickly because he's bringing down the area. But I agree with quite a lot of what he said. I've always voted Labour or Green my whole life, but the Labour Party is completely unmoored from reality now. I think it'll be like he's got no control over it, and it'll be like electing a kind of sixth form student politics group. I mean, the things that they come out with are so completely barking mad. I really fear for what's going to happen after Thursday, which unfortunately is my birthday.
Well, happy birthday for Thursday. Did you vote Labour in 2019 and 2017?
I voted, to be honest, I can't remember, but I've only ever voted Labour or Green, so it would have been one of the two.
Well, how can you possibly say that Keir Starmer is more barking mad or extreme than Jeremy Corbyn in 2019?
Oh, OK, if that was 2019, I definitely didn't vote for Jeremy Corbyn then. I must have voted Green. But I voted Labour the one before. I mean, Keir Starmer's got no control over the party whatsoever. And one of my friends used to work really quite high up in the Labour Party, and he said that the problem with the Labour Party is they don't actually want to win. They love being in opposition. And they
I think that was the case under Jeremy Corbyn. That was the case under Jeremy Corbyn, I think, but you cannot possibly say that Keir Starmer doesn't have a control over the Labour Party. He's basically purged the entire left of the Labour Party. Now, many people think that's a good thing, but you can't say he's been a weak leader in that regard.
No, well, but the thing is, once if he gets this purported supermajority, what's going to happen then? Because they certainly don't all follow his line. And the one thing the left does far, far better than the right ever does is infighting and factionalism. And that's what we're going to see, I think, massively. I think he's going to be completely inept. And all the promises he's come out with, he's not going to be able to fulfil any of them. He did.
So who are you going to vote for?
Do you know what? I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to have to decide when I get in the booth. The one party that I did think I'm going to vote for them, for a reason that you probably won't want me to say on LBC, but they're not even standing in my constituency, which is SDP, which I didn't even realise had risen from the grave. But I'd vote for them if they were standing here, but they're not. So I have absolutely no idea.
Well, you're a bit all over the place, if you don't mind me saying so, David. Let's go to Tom in Chelmsford. Hello, Tom.
Hello there. Hello.
Hi.
I was just going to... I had genuinely, over the last couple of days, thought I am just going to bite the bullet and vote Conservative. But on the basis of listening to Boris Johnson in the last 20 minutes, I have actually decided I actually can't bring myself to do it. I can't vote Conservative. I just can't do it. So, I mean, I know I can't. I don't think I can vote Lib Dem. So I don't think I'm going to vote. But I mean, it's Boris. If that's their secret weapon, then I think they've maybe on a suicide mission or something.
It may have seemed like 20 minutes. It was actually 9 minutes. And I did think to myself, is that really the best you can do? Your only verbal intervention in the election campaign lasts 9 minutes of unprepared waffle. Yeah. I mean, seriously, is that what it's all about? I mean, I think it was actually an insult to Rishi Sunak to do that in the way that he did, don't you?
Right. Quite possibly. I don't know I wouldn't care to speculate on what's going on within the Conservative Party. But I mean, certainly an insult to the electorate, isn't it, to have people like that speaking to us? And we're supposed to go out there and be told.
Well, it was an election rally full of Conservative Party members who were all obviously quite jubilant to see him. But I think, as you say, I don't think he will have persuaded anybody else to vote Conservative. And that surely is the point of the whole intervention, you would have thought, wouldn't you?